Segment 3 of our Thursday edition of the Flashback. I have NBA news to cover on our final portion of the show. This is the Flashback. Of course, I'm Radio Hondo. You can always email me at radiohondo@gmail.com anytime with takes, opinions, and more. Always happy to share them on the show as well. And please do subscribe to the channel if you enjoy what you're hearing. We have some breaking news coming in as we are placing our show here and getting ready to throw that up on the YouTube channel. Segment 3 of this Thursday edition. It's 1:36 right now on the West Coast. And just wrapping up, Cardale Jones' announcement. He held his press conference today to decide whether he was going to stay in school or go into the NFL draft. So Cardale Jones held his press conference just after 4 p.m. Eastern. So let's jump right into it. He came out, very casual press conference this afternoon, and Jones was dressed casual as well. At the moment he approached the podium and he made his announcement right up front, the attire became apparent as a representation of his decision to stay in school. Cardale addressed the importance of him finishing his education for the future and achieving a long-term goal in life, whether it's after an NFL career or not. Jones added he wants to get his degree first and then be able to focus on film as well as possibly a professional career if that were to follow. During questions, he reiterated the confidence in his decision, saying, quote, "My education is going to take me 10 times further than my athletic ability." And Cardale Jones, I have to say, congratulations to you on this decision. That was a wonderful, brave choice to make and the right decision. I believe that everybody truly believes. You have really built yourself up to an amazing person, and to be able to make that decision is a strong choice in life and the right choice in life. So, Cardale, thank the people that are around you in life, bringing you up. Certainly, you've had decisions to make, tough choices in your life, whether to stick at Ohio State when Urban Meyer came in. Obviously, growing up in a rough environment as a child, and coming into fruition through the academy, the prep academy, before going to Ohio State. I mean, wow! I commend you for the strength and the positive decision that you made today. That's a great choice. So happy to hear that. And he knows that he can focus on an NFL career. It'll be there. It'll be there if it was meant to be there. But the most important thing is to think about our long-term goals and where we're going to be no matter what, having something to fall back on. That's very important. So, Cardale Jones, congratulations to you. And no matter what you decide to do, just focus on the training that you're getting in practice at Ohio State while you're focusing on your education and being, still able and equipped and ready to go into the NFL. Because, here's the thing too, is with the late performance and 3 finishes, the situation is you're looking at a 3rd or 4th round draft choice, and you've already have some stuff on your resume, and then you're going to build a life resume in the meantime. And next year at the following draft year, you could still probably go not even starting a game next year and still go 5th or 4th round. So you're not really losing money, and money shouldn't be an issue anyway up front, because you're getting money and enrichment in life with an education first off. And so again, hats off to Cardale Jones. Great decision, great choice. Happy to hear that, and we wish him the best of luck in his development and his education, and thank all the positive influences around him as well. There's a lot of people in great organizations helping out youth, and that goes a long way in society. So very important stuff, and a great job once again for Cardale Jones. All right, so some interesting developments around the league. We took the NBA, I should say, as we transition. I want to take a step closer look at the NBA. We're getting towards the end of the football season, of course, so we're going to center a little bit more on hoops. We are at about the midpoint of the season, and some strong starts in the East are continuing to hold on while Golden State and the Blazers take a stance on the West. One exception to the false start, or the fast start, I should say, in the Eastern Conference teams. However, it's been Chicago. They did get a little bit of a stumble out, but went on an incredible run here over the last month and a half or so. That's starting back in December, around the 10th of December, and continuing on through January 5th. But they've dropped 4 of 5 games now. 3 of those were at home, 2 including games against Washington. Both with those 2 games, one was a here and one was a there. The only win came against Milwaukee, in which Rose didn't actually even play in that game. And the team's now 26-14, still in first in the Central, but 4th overall. So where is this team is a big question going on right now. And again, reminder, radiohondo@gmail.com. If you have any questions, get some takes in there too on the comments right away, since we're fresh on the news for Cardale Jones. Put some comments and takes up there, and we can kind of discuss it back and forth if you thought that was a great decision or not. I certainly thought it was the wise choice in the long run, and it would be happy to see more people make that choice in life as well. So again, between December 10th and January 5th, getting back to the Bulls, 13-12 record. What was going on during that stretch when they started to take a stance in the league in the Eastern Conference and push their way up to the top tier level of that before dropping out here in the last 4 of the 5? Well, we look at some of the leading scorers during that 13-2 run. Rose was led the way 3 times, and they were 3-0 in those contests. Gasol was 3-0 in those contests when he led in scoring. Butler led 8 times in scoring. They were 7-1, and Rose was 2 out of 2 of those games. It doesn't seem to be that there was an issue there, whether who was taking control or not. They seem to obviously be having success no matter who the leading scorer was. Now, leading scorers during that 1-4 run that they're on currently right now, Gasol 3 times, 1 win. Butler won once, and Rose once. And Rose was out for one of the games. So again, not really revealing any information. So where does this leave us as to what this team is right now? Well, there's the Dunleavy factor. Have you heard about the Dunleavy factor? Yeah. There's the Dunleavy factor. It was first recorded way back in the day when his father was playing, but it's the Dunleavy factor. Mike Dunleavy on the Chicago Bulls. He has missed the last 7 games when they're 3-4, and of course, obviously, the 1-4 run that they're currently on with an ankle injury. Butler had scored. He was the leading scorer in 8 of those games during the 13-2 run. And they went 7-1 in that stretch for the games that he led. Butler shoots 10% better with Dunleavy on the court. 10 percentage points better with Dunleavy on the court. Average 14 points per game versus over 21 points per game when the Dunleavy factor is in. Think about that. Where's this guy? He only averages about just under 10 points a game, 9.6, something like that. Smaller framed, power forward. Doesn't actually even dish out assists. About 2 assists a game, a little bit over 2 assists a game. So what is it, though? Well, Dunleavy's 8th in adjusted field goal percentage among strong forwards. 32nd in the league overall. And when you look at field goal percentage, usually it's always centers leading the way. Not really a lot of guards in there. And then, for a smaller framed strong forward, you wouldn't really expect it too much. But he's 32nd overall in the league amongst players who have played at least 20 games this season. 25th amongst players who have played at least 30 games this season, as he has. So he is 8th in adjusted field goal percentage among strong forwards. And he proves the shot of Butler out when he's out on the court. 7-point difference in his points per game. Rose can be out. They can go without Rose. He can miss a game. They can miss a game with Joakim Noah. But they can't miss too many games without Mike Dunleavy. Rose can hit his half-court shots, but if Dunleavy's not playing, they lose. Saw that last night. 32 points, I think, for Derrick Rose. So that's the state of your Bulls right now. Okay, going to talk about one more team really quickly because I want to wrap the segment 3 up so we can get it on to YouTube right away just because of that breaking news with Cardale Jones. So I'll wrap it up real quickly with the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers, another team I want to talk about with the NBA. And again, we're going to jump more into NBA talk. Next week, I'm going to have a friend of mine, Chad, coming on to discuss the Portland Trailblazers. So we'll go a little bit more in depth with the Portland Trailblazers as well as probably Golden State Warriors, those two hot teams out in the West. Chad will be on with me to determine, what is the frame of mind and the state of mind and the real position of the Portland Trailblazers in terms of the Western Conference this year. So he'll be on. Please, watch that cast there. That should be a great show. With Chad and I going back and forth. All right. Cavaliers, LeBron finally back on the team, is hitting a midseason slump now, struggling around 500, sitting in the 6th spot. Although they're a 500 record, are they one of the top teams in the East? The top 5 teams in the East right now, obviously, you have Atlanta and Washington playing very strong, and Toronto is in there. But you start to get down to the Cavaliers, who are sitting in 6th, I think, overall, 5th or 6th, right in that spot. And, they're still working on development. They're really still working on development of the team, and maybe needing that going into the playoffs. So they're okay where they are right now, but NBA news editor Blake Murphy of The Score, he wrote a report regarding this history of the Cavs this season, which has been, just a little ugly. Because here's the thing, they're at 19 and 20 or 18 and 19, something like that right now. No team to start below 500 for the first 39 games has ever won the title. Those stats, they're that reason for a reason. So it's not looking good right now. It started back in October, hiring a Blatt, no decision. James said that had no bearing on his decision to return. Then James holds a players-only meeting before the first practice. And in November, Blatt, he has a team meeting following some opening losses, citing communication problems. James says, "Yeah, 5-4 start back in November. All good. We have some things we need to work out." Blatt takes the blame for a loss, and the GM starts coming out now. David Griffin suggests possible changes. Then in November, James questions the team's effort and chemistry, calling them very fragile. Fast forward to December. After winning 8 straight, LeBron sits out with knee soreness against OKC. A week later, Black calls 29-point loss embarrassing. Then after Christmas, a report suggests the organization's worried about team response to Blatt. James responds with the public support, however. Following day, he sits out the beginning of 8 games with the knee soreness again. January 4th, Griffin gives a public support for Blatt. Cavs make their first of 2 big trades, picking up Iman Shumpert and J.R. Smith from the Knicks. They give up Waiters, Amundsen, Kirk, and then in a second trade, pick up Mozgov from Denver. And then Blatt with a max player misspokenness just recently. And then James pushes Blatt aside, avoiding technical fouls, all that nonsense. Timeouts being called behind his back. It's a mess over there. It's a mess over there. And, obviously all the news reports would kind of hype it up a little bit more, but it is a mess. There's no denying that. And the Cavs may make it to the playoffs this year. But right now, sitting in a 6th spot, they're going to be facing a tough team in Washington. Potentially, if they drop to the 8th, maybe taking on an Atlanta team who's looking really good. We're going to talk about those guys probably next week. Cavs are in a world of hurt right now. You are entering into a world of pain. Things have gone over the line and are entering into a world of pain. Blatt's just being treated like Donnie right now. That's what it seems like to me. He's Donnie on the bench. He's trying to give some advice, trying to be helpful, contribute, get a team of all-stars together. Meanwhile, behind the backs, they're not even paying attention. He's winning championships in Europe. He's rolling strikes. But they ignore that. They're the stars, right? They've been really carrying the team. Let a coach. Let a player play. We're getting way far away from that. We're getting very far away from that concept these days. Meanwhile, Jack Del Rio still cannot wear a suit on the sideline. Oh, man. Who knew we would get to this point? Who knew? There were no indications. Were there any indications? There were no indications, obviously. Come on, let's look back at the history, folks. We all know where this is going. We all know where this is going. Are they going to be able to hold the team together for another year and make a real run and figure things out and address issues? Because it's not going to get done this year. All right, with that, I am going to wrap it up, and we're going to get this online right away. Cardale Jones, please give some feedback on that, your comments, quick takes, whether you leave it on the Facebook page or whether you leave it on the segment itself at the channel. Please always do subscribe if you haven't done so, and appreciate your support right here on the Flashback and Radio Hondo. Next week, we'll get into our recaps of the 2 championship games that took place. Again, we had decided on Indianapolis and New England. I have New England 30, Indianapolis 24, and then for the Seattle Seahawks game, I have the Hawks 27-17 winners, I think is what I said way back in segment 2, 27-17. That sounds about right. No, 27-13 actually. I had Seattle winning over Green Bay. So we'll recap those 2 games, see how it actually broke down and how close we got on them. So they'll be there next week. Hope you enjoyed segment 3 and the Thursday edition of the Flashback. Remember, we will have our next post up next Monday on the scheduled time. And as always, radiohondo@gmail.com. radiohondo@gmail.com. I am Radio Hondo, and this has been the Flashback. Thanks for listening.